Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Final Fantasy Randomizer community presentation on Randomania. Tonight, a Winter Double Anti-Bingo tournament matchup between 22nd seed Sawneyrath11 and 19th seed Rojo. These runners are battling their way up from the loser's bracket, but it's still a long road back to the finals. Up here in the commentary booth, I'm RockSolid84, joined by fellow recent Duckling grad Chanigan. Chanigan,
hey, how's it going?
The gate has dropped. Yes, it's going good, and the gate just dropped. How are you feeling about this rate coming up tonight?
I'm feeling really good. I battled Sawneyrath earlier last week or 2 weeks ago, and he's a really good player. So really excited for this match.
Yeah, no doubt. Both of these runners have faced some adversity so far in this tournament, but they do have their chance at redemption. But wow, is this a difficult dad board tonight?
Yep, both have Rojo having column 4 and Sonny having the diagonal from left to right. It's pretty column 4. It's pretty hard in my opinion.
Yeah, it definitely is. But look at that. There's Quake and Bane, both at level 1 black magic. So a lot of these tricky tiles just got a lot easier. And the runners definitely caught a gift, especially the one that does need to do that column 4.
Yeah, it's going to be way, like you said, way easier for them, for Rojo to do column 4. And yeah, I think it's going to be real quick for him.
Yeah, now Rojo did go ahead and take 2 white mages. We'll see if he keeps them both up. So far, the best white magic we've seen, I believe, is going to be that Cure 3 at level 1.
Yeah, Cure 3, and maybe Ruse if we can find the Maza.
Yeah, hey, some white samurai strats. Can't go wrong with that. So look at this, the creep with lit 3, and both Sawneyrath and Rojo just reset out of that one.
Yeah, some early magic, but could be hard.
Yeah, it could be. Creeps do appear on the overworld, so that might give them a little bit of difficulty early on. Sawneyrath does pick up a light axe in Topher, as Rojo does as well. That'll give them a little bit of AoE against some of these undead packs that they're missing, since level 1 black magic didn't have a lot in that department.
So Sawneyrath at Garland tried to quake him, not successful yet. And there we go.
Yeah, and I'm not sure the stats on Quake, but I think most of the instant kill spells will work eventually on Garland, as we see a pickup of a ruby at the king and a ship at the princess. So a little bit of early movement definitely helps.
Yep. Yeah, they're pretty sure they're going to go to Bicky, see what item he has, and I think they have a free canoe, so it's right after that. I think Crescent Lake could be a good play, and maybe we'll see a dive in the volcano or ice.
Yeah, volcano might. It's always risky when you're low level, but with an incentive item and with the volcano armory, you could very well be right about that. Hate the 13th in chat pointing out that Sawneyrath being assigned the diagonal is going to be tough to have to spell down 2 different bosses, and I'm sure that's a good part of the reason why Sawneyrath's opponent picked that. Of course, we do already have Quake, so Quaking Glitch is pretty academic once you have the spell. And Bracken the Kraken, well, we haven't seen Brack yet, but level 2 magic is coming up pretty soon on Sawneyrath's screen.
Yeah, I don't think if Quake lands up at a high level, it could be a problem, but with I think he has 2 red mages, which has the Sage Blurs. I think he's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. And look at this. Nuke, Warp, and Wall, all at level 2, all available right now to those red mages. So the magic is just given and giving here. Yeah, I think the biggest challenge in having to kill 3 different bosses is just the fact that you've got to be able to get into those different layers. So, like, for example, killing Tiamat 1, well, you've got to find the chime, you've got to find the cube. Because remember, with these double anti-bingo flags, the orbs are lit already. So if it's not on the card, you don't have to beat that boss, as Sawneyrath picks up the herb at Bicky.
Yeah, if chime or cube are last location, that could be what blocks Sawneyrath.
Yeah, definitely. So far we've just got a couple of things like the ruby and the herb that lead to other things. We haven't seen a lot of critical stuff. Look, I didn't even notice Quad X is also there at level 2. Man, that spell level is really stacked.
That level 2 is stacked. Yep. So let's talk about the Lursus and Malus for this match. So fighter has plus katana and plus 10 agility, and unfortunately has black mage strength. Could be the fighter could hit a little bit less than normal. We don't have a thief, I think. No, we have a black belt with plus 40 HP, plus 5 log, but can't equip pro rings. Red mage has a sage blurs, which means can learn all white and black spell before promoting. You can learn black black mage and white mage class before promoting, and once he promotes, can learn the black wizard and white wizard spells, and has black belt vitality. So red mage is gonna have a lot of HP.
A lot of HP and all the spells.
Yeah.
Definitely understand why Sawneyrath took 2. Just a couple items of note. We did see the pro rings for sale in Provoca, and we also saw the herb turned into the floater. So not only does the seed have good magic, but it's also looking pretty jetty right about now.
Yeah, with the early floater, it opens up the old world. So I think it's going to be a quick one. Maybe have a few. Maybe one of them is going to be a sub 1 hour. It's possible.
It is. Now, Rojo just reset back to Provoca, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe he encountered some difficult monsters on the open sea, but is now going back to Crescent for armor. Maybe he saw some gold bracelets? Copper bracelets, okay.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, he needs to have a copper, silver, and gold bracelet, so that might be why.
Oh, okay, that's one of his required tiles, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And look at that, Sawneyrath in the air, 7 minutes and 16 seconds. Ooh.
This is going to be a quick one. And Cube in Crescent Lake. So for 16k, I think, if I saw correctly.
Yeah, so that's going to be good news for the runners that do need to get into Sky.
So with the level 6 magic, I have not seen what was in black magic.
Didn't look like much to me. I didn't quite catch it all, but I felt like there was nothing there as we see the crown at the Circle of Sages.
So Ree's pointing out that Invis 2 is at level 6 white, so it's gonna be good for later on. And Sarda having Oxiel.
Yeah, so there's access to see gold bracelets for 33k in Melmond, and we saw Life 2 and Heal 3, both amazing spells at level 5 white. But they're in slots 3 and 4, so the Heal 3, I believe, was the one in slot 3. That one we'll have to promote for.
Both runners going to Titan, giving them his tasty ruby.
Right, so Sawneyrath about to nuke down some spiders. Sawneyrath is the one who's obligated to do top left to bottom right. For those who don't know how this works, in double anti-bingo, your opponent assigns you a road, or a line, I should say, that you have to complete. There's adamant at the Titan's Trove. You get one line that you have to complete, and then you can pick any other line of your choosing. At that point, you've got your 2 lines done. You still have to finish the game, so you've got to go to Chaos and defeat Chaos. You do have your orbs pre-lit, so as long as you weren't required to beat a boss for a tile, you don't have to go back and beat that boss. So they can be quick seeds. As Chanigan pointed out, we could be looking at somebody finishing under an hour.
And Sawneyrath selling the Sunsword for some pocket money, buying Heal 3. I think he bought Heal 3.
He
not
did.
Mistaken? Okay.
He did. I was incorrect earlier when I said that Heal 3 wouldn't be accessible. I was thinking of the black magic. Still a little bit. What's the word I'm looking for? Hazy on the spell permissions.
As Rojo is picking up his adamant, and Sawneyrath is fighting Astos.
Yeah, so Lemon Kitsune asking in chat why Rojo has take 0 or 4 lit up if he's got a red mage. Yeah, well that looks like a red mage right there. So good question. I don't know. It could be a mistake. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but yeah, he shouldn't have that lit up if he's got a red mage.
He started with a black belt, and I think he swapped it to a red mage. So Tavern mode being useful for once.
Yeah, and not a lot of runners take advantage of this, but the way that this works is if you see something like that, take 0 or 4 red mages, what you've got to do is you've got to start with the party in that condition, and you've also got to finish the game with the party in that condition. But what happens in between is up to you. So it is legal to do what Rojo has done and switch one of your characters to red, as long as you switch it back before you defeat Chaos. That's going to be the key.
It's going to take, since the red mage has the Sage Blurs, it's going to make the early game really easy for him, and once he changes back to his black belt that should be high enough level to defeat, to go into Topher.
Yeah, and again, it might not matter because Rojo is not required to do that tile. So Rojo can always decide later, oh, you know what? Actually, I'm just going to do another line and then unlight that tile. Keep the red mage.
So we've seen that Astos has had the canoe, I think. If I'm not mistaken. I think I saw Sawneyrath picked it up.
Yeah, I didn't catch the Astos item. I think we're about to see a Matoya check here, though. Although it doesn't look like Sawneyrath has...
Yeah, it doesn't have the crystals.
Okay, it's just getting some loot.
I think
at level 4 black magic. I just wanted to point that out. That's pretty important spell to have in most cases.
Oh yeah, so Sawneyrath's going to waterfall. So yeah, he does have canoe.
Yeah, he's got the canoe, and we saw him pick up the Oxyale earlier. If anyone in chat did notice what Astos had, we'd all appreciate you letting us know. But this is a good play for Sawneyrath with Nuke, with the Oxyale. There's pretty good item density here, and it is possible to defeat Kraken. Now, we still haven't seen Brack, I don't think.
Nah, I don't think we've seen it too.
That could be an issue for one of them. Actually, yeah, it is Sawneyrath that does have to complete that tile, so he's probably hoping that Brack is in level 7 black magic, although it looks like he didn't check.
So let me just check what our tracker Reese Wolf has for magic, and yep, we have not seen Brack yet, so looks like it's gonna be level 7 or 8. It could be a problem for Sawneyrath.
Yeah, now they've both got red mages, so they're going to be able to cast it regardless. However, it may require promotion, and that could slow things down as we have not seen the tail yet.
Yep. Rojo picking up his floater. Sawneyrath is in waterfall.
Yeah, and I wonder if Rojo feels behind. I mean, it's only 14 minutes in and he's got his floater. That's not a bad time to be picking up your floater, but he probably knows that it would have been possible to get it sooner, as we see him pick up Exit in Elfland.
Yeah, this is looking to be a sub 1 hour seed.
Yeah.
So, go for it.
Ahead. No, it's all you.
So, looking at the board, which second row column would you do?
So it depends on who I am, I suppose, because that's gonna your required row or line is gonna light up some tiles as you go. They've both got pretty difficult required lines. So let's see. I'll take Sawneyrath for example. Let's do top left to bottom right. If I'm in that situation, well, I've already decided not to take 2 white mages, so I can't do row 3. That means, do I look at column 5? Same thing, that's out of the running. So maybe row 5, because defeating Lich 1 is pretty deep, but it's near the canoe incentive that's right next to it. So maybe that's what I'd go for. How about you?
If I'm Sawneyrath, I'm going for column 2. You're already going to defeat Kraken with Brack. You most likely need to promote, so row 3 is out of question, and you're already going to three dungeons. So why not go to the last one too? And just to level up his black belt, level 30 is going to be pretty easy. So I'm taking column 2 for Sawneyrath.
Okay, fair enough. I guess the Luigi sprite, that's a black belt, eh?
I'm pretty sure it's a black belt.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he had decided to take the fighter. In this case, although, I guess it wouldn't be the worst decision in the world. But with use only cursed weapons on the board, that's one you want to avoid a little bit.
As Rojo just picked up his crown.
Yep, so Sawney here looks like maybe translating a slab, although according to his tracker, that's already done. So this could be preparing for an earth dip.
Okay, no, he's now just translating it.
Okay, so that will be interesting. Probably going to go straight up there now. And Rojo, seems to be a few steps behind, but, getting those incentive checks done pretty quickly. So, yeah, I don't think there's a big difference in terms, even though there was the airship difference there, tiles are really what's going to make the difference in a situation like this. And, some of the tiles can be pretty tricky, like successfully curing a status ailment with white magic, or some of these ones where you've got to kill certain enemies. Those ones can be elusive.
Yeah, I think Rojo picked up the pure spell and maybe lamp. Not sure about that one, but so he just needs to get poisoned, and it's gonna be at the quick check.
Yeah, if he's got access to those 2 spells, he should be good. Eventually, some enemy is going to do that, and he'll be able to take care of it. Nukes down some zombies. Rojo here looks like is going to Volcano, or no, it's going to be Ice, I think.
Oh, he's doing the canoe from Elfland's Ice, I think.
No, you're absolutely right. There would be no reason to take the canoe up this otherwise when you've got the airship already.
Sawneyrath just got the rod from Lefane. So yeah, column 2 is looking really good for him. Pretty sure that if he finds a good grind tile, column 2 is a good contender. I think he's going to check the hint. No.
Taking advantage of a little Lefanish hospitality and staying at the inn, that is, of course, not normally there in the vanilla game. It's one of the quality of life improvements added by the randomizer, one of many.
And Rojo just lit up his tile. So where are we going next? So if I'm both runners, I think I'm trying to find a grind tile as soon as possible to get that black belt high level, just to sweep through the game. I think ice is a pretty good place with 4 trap tiles.
I believe it's 5.
5, yeah.
And you're right, and it's got an incentive item and lots of boxes. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to come down here. Even the enemies themselves, when you're mid levels like they are, you know, a couple of nukes thrown out there, and all of a sudden you're level 16 or so.
Ooh, Frost Giants.
No, that's not the best.
And he kills this black mage that had poison.
Yeah, and I think that's what Rojo likes the least about it. Rojo was that close to lighting up the tile, and then the Frost Giant just came in and took it away from him. Ooh, that feels bad.
That nuke spell helping them so much. Nuke landing really early, it's always a good feeling. Just being able to just plow through the beginning.
Oh yeah, early nuke, early floater. I mean, those are the two things that you want to have, and they got them both. These, Wraiths dropping cremate. It's not an easy ice cave though, as Sawneyrath tries to survive a second Wraith pack and start checking boxes. Does have warp, so he'll be able to do this pretty quickly.
And a crystal. Nice.
Right. So the crystal check. Oh, they have exit too. Wow, so many options. Wiz Ogre's at the first of the many trap tiles. I would not be surprised if Rojo continues to check trap tiles, which Sawneyrath did not do. And that might give a slight advantage to Rojo, although Rojo doesn't have a black belt. It's he could switch back. I keep forgetting
he could switch back,
with the tavern mode. So yeah, you could just superpower one of your red mages and then switch it back pre-promotion, and there you go, instant seat solution right there.
And Matoya had the TNT.
Okay, the old witch harboring a grudge as Sawneyrath comes down, forgets that it's TNT and not adamant. That happens to the best of us. And gonna run down and see what Nerek's got.
Oh, he found a chimera. Nice. Rojo finding chimeras. And it looked like they hit hard.
Yeah, chimeras. I tried grinding chimeras recently, and somebody was in my chat and pointed out, rightly so, they tend to have a lot of HP. They can usually survive a nuke, and so that's, or even a level 32 black belt hit in some cases. So they're not as great as you might think, but they'll do in a pinch. Sawneyrath, on the other hand, getting the bad news that TNT ends up turning into a dud. So the crystal from ice over to Matoya, over to dwarf, it was all just a wild goose chase.
No grind tile yet. No good grind tile. So this.
No,
that could be.
I don't hate Frost Giants, Frost Wolves under normal circumstances when you've got a lot of nuke casters, but these ones have so much HP and they do have that crack spell, so it's a risky approach. Stinger, on the other hand, could give the chance to light up a tile here. Sawneyrath deciding that doesn't want to risk it with the giants. Continues to check chests and trap tiles. That's the right play.
Yep. Maybe trying to find a ribbon or something like that. As Rojo just picked up his crystal.
Yeah, a ribbon would be nice, but he does have 3 wall casters, so definitely not something they need.
Sawneyrath just finding money. Oh, and there's the ribbon.
And it even rolled down. Although I guess we don't have that. There's use only cursed weapons, but we don't have to worry about.
Cursed armor is also.
Oh, there it is. Column 5.
It's column 5. Yep.
So could be of interest to Rojo.
Rojo, yep.
Rojo has to find the Masbian though too.
Which I think is incentivized, so yep.
Oh, is it? Okay, that'll make things easier. You don't want to have to be digging out all the chests in the game just to find Masbian. Okay, so Reese, our tracker, is... Or, sorry. Reese confirming what Sunflash, our restreamer, is saying, which is that Rojo already turned off the cursed armor. So they're not going to be... Or they are using that, even if it is rolling up.
Oh, and Rojo trying to cure his poison.
Yeah, gonna get a shot at it.
There it goes.
There it goes. Doesn't matter now, even if the Frost Giant cracks all 4 of his Light Warriors, which almost did as I was commentating there. It wouldn't have mattered once you get it done. Even if you wipe, the tile's still good. A question in chat from Hawk Laser asking if Sawney has already done Garland and Pirates. Doesn't that limit it to column 1 or row 4 for their second? Bingo.
Yeah, Garland boxing is so I think both runners already deal with Garland, so they can't do column 5 and row 2 too. So yeah, leaves them with a few choices.
Yeah. Now, Reese Wolf points out that bottom left to top right is on the table, which is available to it's Rojo, who's in red. Yep. Because Rojo started with 0 and then switched to 1, as long as he switches back to 0 before he finishes the game, then that will be legal.
And Sawneyrath finding a zombie dragon tile, I think, in the bottom of Volcano.
Oh, is that in the Agama spot? There's the tail at the Volcano Incentive, and we're going to get another look. If he doesn't warp out, we're going to get another look. Yeah, it's actually the Zombie D Wiz Vamp tile. That's a good one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Especially for Rojo with the plethora of mages, can just nuke until the cows come home and get up to, I would say 32 is probably on the table, wouldn't you? With potentially two zombie dragons and 3 Wiz Vamps at a shot.
Yeah. 32 is my mark, my go-to mark for black belt. Just unlocking that.
Right, but can you get there? Can you get there with all 4 of your party members up? I suppose you could maybe knock one of them down and still have enough nuke casters to get the job done.
Yeah, I don't think the Wiz Vamps have a lot of HP. Maybe 280, maybe less. So it's a pretty good grind tile.
Yeah, and Sawneyrath is availing himself of it. Rojo has a white mage down, which I would just leave it down if it were me. There's no real reason to have 2 white mages active, I should think. And
Sawneyrath just leaving Volcano.
Yeah, well, he's got the incentive, got a few levels, just picks up his cube there, and might be starting to think about Sky, although we haven't seen the chime yet. Sawneyrath does need to defeat Tiamat 1 at some point.
And we still haven't seen Brack. Sawneyrath buying these gold bracelet plus 5.
Using some of that hard-earned cash, and that's a nice defensive buff.
Yep. And lighting a square too.
Yeah, had to spend 100,000 G in one shop. Could have done it with cubes, as Rubes pointed out, but certainly a lot more productive to put a ring on all 4 of your characters, especially when they roll it to +5.
And Rojo finding this Zombie D and Whizvamp tile.
Yeah, not grinding it though, and that's interesting because Rojo is the one rocking all the mages. Instead, Rojo is going for some checks of the fire floor, and I believe that's going to be a tile incentive.
Yep. He has to check every room on Carrie's floor.
There you are. Yeah, column 4, row 1. Yeah, I was looking for it. Takes me a little while. I got to bounce back and forth between 2 screens. There's the one where I can see who's got which line, and then there's the one that I can clearly read what's on the bingo board. So
Sawneyrath going to Earth Cave.
yeah, now Sawneyrath does need to defeat Lich with Quake. That's not going to be difficult. So probably just going ahead and taking care of that now. Does have the rod. Oh, finds the Agama grind.
Ooh.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, those will be available up on the top floor of Perth as well. They
exactly.
Don't need to come down here. So that's good for the black belt. Rojo finally completing all the checks of that carry 1 floor. Wow, that takes a while. And has to get past a couple of mean ogres on the way too. Carry 1. Oh, that was just doing the room check, I guess. Doesn't actually need to defeat carry.
I think he's probably going to grind a little bit and just exit out of Volcano. And Sawneyrath found the bottle next to the vampire. Ooh, and choosing top route instead of mid.
Yeah,
Ooh.
That's I hear that's a few steps longer.
Yep, I think 2 or 3 steps, something like that.
Hey, every little bit counts, right?
Yep.
Reese with the stats, 80 versus 82. That's why they pay him the big bucks, folks.
And Sawneyrath just turned 1 Quake Lich.
Yeah, Lich was hungry for cake today. So.
Yep. Oh, did Roger wipe? I did not see if he. Okay, he used exit. Okay, I was looking at Sawneyrath's screen.
Yeah, that would have been pretty heartbreaking to lose that grind, but Rojo continues on, is taking the bait and going on the goose chase. Unfortunately for him, that's not going to turn up too much, but it won't waste a lot of time. Sawneyrath, on the other hand, is up in Gaia, and we're probably going to get a look at that bottle item, not to mention Brack might be here.
Ooh, looks like Brack is going to be level 8.
Yeah, or level 7 on rack. I don't believe we've
on rack
seen
yet.
that yet.
Not checking level 8.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why, because he does need to defeat Tiamat with Brack. So Maybe just wants to get the item first, and we'll come back.
And here is the chime. As Rojo finding his clock -2 from the TNT turn in.
Yeah, so gets the dud from the end of that daisy chain there. Sawneyrath appears to be remembering that he did not check level 8 black magic. I was worried for him there. He was a little excited there, realized he had sky access and was headed on, so can't blame him. But he's going back for that. Probably going to hit sky next. Rojo is checking the trap tiles in Earth Cave. Going to find Agamas. Do you think he takes a grind here?
Yep, he needs that grind as soon as possible, I think. Nope. We just lost Rojo's screen, I think.
Yeah, I'll take a look in the race room and see if anything's going on. They're both still running, so maybe just a stream issue. Oh, Hawkalaser pointing out that Brack was there. Level 8. I didn't see that.
So, yeah, Brack was.
That hurts. You'll need to get at least to level 25 and promote to cast that.
There we go. So Sawneyrath's going to check ordeals. I think it's either the key or the loot. We have not found either of them.
Yep. So we're going to see that item check and also 2 more trap tiles on the way to it. Rojo, on the other hand, down in Earth, going down there to get that incentive item, and we know that that's going to be the bottle. We haven't seen the Mazamune yet either. So that's another one that we could see here at Ordeals if it's in the incentive pool. I'm going to double check that. So we've got the flags here, and yeah, Mazamune is the only weapon or armor in the incentive pool.
Yep. So if key is here, so that leaves Sky and Coneria locked for Mazamune and the loot. So I think they both gonna full clear the game. Pretty much get every item and key item, I should say. And yep. So Mazamune is in ordeals, so that leaves the key in Sky, which leads to the loot in the Coneria Palace.
Yes, that your logic is sound, sir. So Sawneyrath heading out of ordeals with that Mazamune. And Sawneyrath is looking, well, they're both looking at about the same level. They've both got 2 left on their required lines and have some work done on a second.
And Rojo finding the Agama grind.
Yeah, and it looks like this is actually the 1 to 4 Agama tile, so it's even better than it would have been if it was the 1 to 2. Sawneyrath is promoting now, so will not have much magic defense on the black belt. I think he's still in mid-20s.
And the Agama don't have a lot of HP, around 180. So 1 cast of nuke, and that's pretty it.
Yeah, and that's pretty helpful. Chat pointing out that Sawneyrath probably is interested in getting Brack as quickly as possible. That's why going for the promote, and is indeed headed back there right now. Yeah, Rojo's going to grind those Agamas for a little while, I think. Now, is Rojo the one? Probably not required to hit level. Is it 50? No, 30. Okay, yeah.
30, yeah.
They're both going to do that.
think Sawneyrath has, and he's high enough level to cast Brack. No, he does not have the level. So he'll have to grind.
Yeah, I might be thinking about just heading for the incentive, picking up levels on the way, exiting out, housing back. Sky doesn't take too long to get through if you're just going straight for the fiend. Yeah, maybe looking for
maybe pull a Warmech.
I like that emo in chat. I haven't seen that one yet.
So Sawneyrath climbing Mirage Tower as Rojo is going to Ordeals.
Okay, so Rojo may be picking up his Masmune at about the same time that Sawneyrath is throwing his out the window. A little bit heartbreaking, but it's got to be done. Sawneyrath doesn't need to, though. Probably will anyways.
And there's the key.
As predicted. So Sawneyrath is heading on, is done with the boxes, looks like, and is just going to go take care of Tiamat and maybe see a Warmech on the way.
Just one Sunflash.
Yeah, we've got Corneria locked, but not the Marsh locked. Oh, there's Warmech, and Sawneyrath is gonna take him.
With fast lock and temper, I think this is gonna go pretty quickly.
Yeah, so the buffs come out, and Warmech knows to be worried about that black belt. It's pretty hard, but it's not going to be enough. The black belt's going to hit for a lot right now, and I'd say max 2 swings, and this fight's going to be over, especially with more buffs coming out here. Look at all these tempers.
With 1100 damage, yep. And Warmech just casting spells. And there goes down Warmech.
Yeah, so that's a nice little pot of experience points. Sawneyrath's going to head on, only has to defeat Tiamat, nothing fancy going on here. So this is going to happen quickly. I'm sure we'll still see Kraken come down in fairly short order after this, and then it's just going to be a matter of completing. Well, it looks like he's one away from but can't use cursed weapons. So probably column. Geez, I guess. Well, it'd have to be column 1 at this point. Because he hasn't thrown the Masmune out of space, hasn't meleeed the pirates, can't box Garland.
He has promoted. Sawneyrath has promoted, so he's locked out of column 1.
Right, and hasn't examined all the computers.
And Rojo took a wipe to some blue Ds in Ordeals.
Yeah, so chat pointing out maybe row 4. Would still have to throw Masmune into space for that, and hasn't. No, it's not an ASAP. So you aren't required to throw it out as soon as possible. I was just thinking that if Sawneyrath is going back into Sky, so that's probably why, although it would have been more efficient to just do it on your way up. Maybe it's just an issue of forgetting about it or something that I haven't thought of. Yeah, working with the black belt, you don't need the Masmune. So Rojo taking advantage of a little bit of steak on the way out of ordeals, nuking them up in the microwave. Probably not the best way to eat steak, but but you do you, Rojo. And moving on to Gaia, maybe looking for spells here.
And yeah, Sawneyrath just threw the Mazamune into sky. Goodbye, Massa.
Okay, so that does make it look like Sawneyrath is going for row 4. For that, he'll be defeating Kraken anyways. And talking to the 5 bats is pretty quick. It'll just be an issue of getting that status tile that often gives people trouble.
Yep, Sawneyrath just, like Reese said, Sawneyrath just forced himself into row 4. I don't think he can do any other row. Yep. From what I'm looking, he can't do anything else except row 4.
Okay, and Sawneyrath, having a little bit of indecision now, is going into the volcano, and I have to think that this is for trap tile.
But he does know where the Agama are.
What was there at the vanilla Agama tile? Zombie D Whizvamp? Maybe he wants that one.
Maybe. But I feel like the Agama are faster. Oh.
Yeah, if it were me, I would probably go for the Agama, especially with the black belt. But you can take advantage of the lava, I guess, to get your mages down quicker. They're both in volcano now.
I think we just lost Rojo stream.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'll check the race room again. Rojo disconnected from Bingo Sync, but can't. It looks like he's still in the race room. Yep, double your Sawneyrath, double your pleasure. Sawneyrath picking up a couple of levels here with some easy nukes, is doing this Agma grind. So it's probably just one of those things where you make a note of that. You know that the Agma tile is a good one because you don't have to step off of it. You can keep running back and forth between the two. And you know that they're very easily nukeable. So absolutely nothing wrong with this tile here. And especially when there's so many nuke casters, Sawneyrath is just taking them out.
Yep, I don't think they have a lot of HP too, so and no nasty spells. So it's pretty good grind for Sawneyrath.
Yep. And to Sardia's point in chat, Rojo has cast Invis. Yes, that is true. And we cannot see what he's up to. And if we try to hit him, we got to get through a few stacks. So I guess get your Whizvamp facts out in chat as we nuke a few of these down. This is a good grind. It looks like about 5,000 XP when the screen is full, split amongst 4 characters. So that'll be 20k if we start to see Sawneyrath drop a few of the mages down.
Oh. There we go.
Okay, and Sawneyrath marking the level 30 tile, continuing to grind with everybody up. I guess he's going to go to level 32 on everybody and maybe move on at that point. With this many casters, you don't need to necessarily go higher than that, and wall as well. Okay, checks the nuke charges and continues to go. Do you think Sawneyrath is going to try and get all the way up to 42 with all 4 party members up?
I don't think so. He has access. He has fast. He has tempered, invest too. Has access to life too. So I don't think level 42 is a magic number for him. I think at 32 to 36, it's pretty high enough for him.
Yeah, maybe just wants the extra magic defense, especially having promoted a bit earlier. That could be the reason why.
Oh, he also needs brack charges.
Oh, right. So level 25, you get 1 brack charge. Level 26, you get 2. Your next one is at level 28, and then I think level 30 gets you 4. So that's almost certainly what he's doing, is trying to get that up as high as possible. Does have 3 casters, though, because the red wizards will be able to cast it with the Sage Blessing. Okay, and it looks like we're getting Rojo back in real time here. Big time props to our restreamer, Sunflash Rune. First time restreaming in the big leagues and doing a fantastic job getting Rojo back on the fly.
So while Rojo wasn't on stream, he spent 100k in the one shop, and he collected a copper, silver, and gold bracelet. So he still needs to kill 1 worm. I think he killed a sandworm somewhere, and still needs to cake Lich to complete his force row. And I think he's going to go with column 1. So just go to Sky and check computers and just exit out and go to Topher.
Yeah, I agree. That's the most obvious play for Rojo. So Sawneyrath picking up Pro Cape, going for Kraken, just needs to brack Kraken down. I don't imagine we'll see too much else in terms of item checks or trap checks. I think we're just seeing a beeline here.
So Rojo's still with his white mage and black mage, red mage and black mage. Sorry, so he's not using the both white mage.
Yeah, and I can understand that. I mean, he's going to be switching back to the black belt for the end game, and it's going to be so overpowered that even having the black mage there to cast fast is probably overkill. Especially, well, I would keep. Oh, you can't keep a red mage. That's the issue, because then you get life casts.
Sawneyrath trying to brack Kraken. So first one misses, second one ineffective too. I think he has 7 brack charges.
Yeah, it really should be enough, statistically speaking. But, well, sometimes Kraken plays coy with us and makes it difficult.
And yep, there goes Kraken. So with that, Sawneyrath just completed his force row. So he just needs to complete row 4. And he's in go mode. And find that loot. But we know where loot is. He only needs to check Conaria locked, which I think is where he's going. Maybe not.
Yeah, so Sunflash Rune pointing out that Rojo's got to be feeling pressured, and of course, we can't speak for Rojo, but I would if I were in that situation. You can see the bingo board, and you can see the tiles getting lit up by your opponent. So Rojo knows exactly where Sawneyrath is, and also knows that he himself still needs to find worms and get Lich done, which means getting to Lich. Now, the Lich tile, you could actually do Lich in Temple of Fiends Revisited. It is possible to Quake Lich 2. It's a little bit, the chances are a little lower, but it's definitely possible. And they've got lots of charges. So if I were Rojo, that's what I'd be planning on, is to just, oh, but he's got to defeat Lich 1 if he wants row 5. No, it's faster to get the computers done. So yeah, I went in a lot of different directions there, but that's what I would do. I would try to get the worms done, and then I would look to get Lich in Topher. Do you agree with that, Chanigan?
Yep, 100%. Just try to find that worm in Temple of Fiend Revisited, and then just beeline to Chaos.
Oh, that's right. Yes, the worms are quite common in there under normal circumstances. So both of those things could happen in Topher, unless we get really unlucky and the worms are in encounter 8 for some reason.
Sawneyrath talking to 5 bats in Marsh Cave, and Rojo is going to Marsh Cave too, I think. Yep.
Right, so what is Rojo here for, though?
He's talking to the bats.
Going for that bottom left to top right. Okay, that makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah.
That's probably a little bit faster than going all the way to the bottom of Earth and Quake and Lich. Although, given that you could get that done in Topher, anyways, he's got a strategy.
So, yep, Sonny just needs... I think he just needs to cure that status to be in go mode. So I think he's hoping for something in Temple of Fiend.
Now, this is, Chanigan, this is where we could see the race turn around. And I have seen this happen on this exact tile. I think it was the last dab that I watched. I forget who was running. But you can run into problems with this tile. Now, in that seed, it was a little bit more difficult because both Lamp and Pure were hard to get to. But in this case, they both got access to all spell levels. They both have those spells, so it's just a matter of finding the enemy that does the thing. So it shouldn't be as big of a deal, but you never know.
Oh yes, Sawneyrath just checked cursed weapon, so I don't know if he equipped something earlier. Reese Wolf.
I never saw Sawneyrath use any weapons, and there's no reason that he would have with a black belt and a bunch of mages. So it might just be the sort of thing where he didn't realize that it was lit. Oh, the tracker's saying that he did equip an Iron Hammer +4 at one point.
Ooh. That might be bad for Sawneyrath.
I wonder if somebody should say something in the race room. And I wonder if that somebody should be me. I never know with these type of things. Usually there's an admin floating around. Okay, Sunflash is checking with Danny. We'll let that play out for a moment as Rojo finds a worm.
So Rojo just needs to defeat Lich with Quake, and he's in go mode. So I think he's trying to. He'll try into a Temple of Fiend Revisited. Yep, as he going back in.
Yeah, and Reese gave us the stat for that 24% on Lich 2. So pretty much a 1 in 4 chance. And they've got lots of casts, and Lich is right at the beginning. I mean, this is the one. If there was any tile that you had to do in Topher, this was the one you want. If you've got Quake, which they do.
Yep. Which was level 1, I think.
Yes, it was. Quake and Bane were both at level 1.
Yep. All right, so both on the same tile. Yeah, we have a race.
Yeah, we do. So okay, Rojo is through first, it looks. Although Sawneyrath is fighting Earth. Is Sawny ahead?
No, so Rojo is ahead.
Okay.
Sawneyrath is on the loot trap tile.
Right. So Rojo is just a few steps ahead. Of course, with random numbers being what they are, we could see lead switches at any point here. And we're still not 100% sure on that tile. Now, I have to think that Sawneyrath knows whether or not he used cursed weapons. So I won't be worried about that. Rojo continues to run through, is about to face Lich one, and this is where we're going to see that those quakes go off.
All right, so Rojo trying to cake Lich 2.
Yeah, to the questions in chat, the rules document says that if you equip the cursed item, then that's the test. It's not whether you use it as an item. It's not whether you swing it. It's whether you equip it in the menu or not. Well, the penalty is that we tell them and that they unlight the tile. I think that's usually how it works. But so far, that hasn't happened. I don't want to say it myself because I didn't see it myself. And I made that mistake earlier on in a different race. I told somebody that they violated a rule that they didn't. So I don't want to jump on that one and make a fool of myself again. Sawneyrath is doing quite well besides this. So let's hope that this doesn't end up being an issue.
Sawneyrath could still cure an ailment in Temple of Fiend. Just to be certain. Down goes a carry 2 on Rojo's side. And Sawneyrath's Black Bella doing 2400 damage on that Kraken too. Just destroying everything on his side.
Oh yeah, that's what black belts do. You get them up high levels, and they go all one punch man on things.
Yeah.
So Sawneyrath getting all the worms now. They are usually pretty common. Rojo is fighting my favorite, and I say that sarcastically, unrunnable waters. They're unrunnable in vanilla, and they often seem to be in randomizer, and they pack a wallop.
So one Sawneyrath just one punch Tia 2. So looks like Tia 2 had low HP, only 1400.
Yeah, there's a dragon-sized hole in the wall now on that floor in Temple of Fiends Revisited. We got a Chaos fight coming up. Chanigan, you want to call it?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, you're going to be up here as Sawneyrath does his final little run. Let's see if we get a victory lap. Nope, he's going straight for the throat. Let's hear it.
All right. So, punching, fast, and pretty temper, and invis 2, I think. And wall. If a wall goes off, fast, temper, and punch. 1200 for 8 hits. So that chaos is not gonna last too long. And poison by chaos. 1400 for the black belt. So yeah, that's a pretty much 3-phase chaos. And there goes chaos. Sawneyrath finishing first with a racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 55 seconds. Get your GGs in the chat.
Yep. So good game to Sawneyrath. We're gonna check in with him in the race room. I'm just gonna write to him now.
I think I've missed it, but did Rojo wipe on Kraken too?
Well, he's fighting Earths, so probably.
I'm assuming, yeah.
And I'm just chatting with Sawneyrath now. I guess I'm the one delivering the news, and so Sawneyrath is trying to work out what to do here. Sawneyrath is undunning and looks like we'll be coming back into the race. Great sport. And we still have a race here, folks. Now, I think what this means is that once you flub up a tile like that, you can't light it. I mean, he wouldn't be able to anyways, but if it had been one that... What I'm trying to say is that Sawneyrath now has to find another way to get that second line. He can't use column 2, it can't use row 3. So what's that leave? Probably the Curing the Status ailment.
Yep. Yeah, he just bought Lamp and Pure, so it's his only options.
Yeah, no, great, really great sportsmanship from Sawneyrath, just not hesitating, just plunging right back in there. And we still have the race because we did see Rojo already wipe once to Kraken 2, so we don't know how long it's going to take for Rojo to get past that gatekeeper.
Yep. The only problem is that with his high level characters, a lot of early enemies will just run. So that might be a little bit hard for him.
Yeah, that is the danger that you run with all of your levels, with all of your characters high level. If he had one, even a dead one, that was low level, he could move that up into the top and wouldn't have to worry about it. But the way it is, they're all pretty much equally even Stevens. So it's just going to be a matter of finding something. Now, those Frost Giants, if Sawneyrath knows, they did have Stinger.
Yep.
Which is going to be a pretty low percentage chance against characters this highly leveled. But since it hits all 4, that's what I'd be going for.
Yep. Same.
So Rojo is past carry 2. We're going to get another look at that Kraken 2 now.
So Sawneyrath checking white magic. I think he's trying to find. So he
Cure
has Cure 4, maybe. Yep.
Yeah, Cure 4 is the one you want when you're trying to do that tile, because in addition to healing your character, it actually does cure most status ailments, I think, except for being dead and maybe being stoned.
Yep.
Just about everything else, if you're held, if you're muted, poisoned, it's gonna reset you back to the good.
And yep, Cure 4 level 8. As well as Fade.
Yeah.
So oh, go for it.
Sorry, no, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
I was just saying that round 2 for Rojo on Kraken 2.
Yeah, that's exactly what we should be looking at. So Kraken lays out a good solid hit against the Black Wizard, but the Black Wizard survived. So we're probably not looking at a high stat Kraken. It's probably an issue of a nasty spell. And the thing is, though, with that big black belt, Rojo should be pretty safe here.
Just need to hope that the Kraken doesn't punch his black belt. Oh, and there goes a Kraken 2.
Yeah, was that an instant kill?
No, I think that was a 2 round.
Chat's calling up 12.5%. That's why I'm wondering if maybe we landed a Brack or a Bane or something. Oh, the white mage getting punched. Yes, Kraken. See, it's not 12. Chat is making the mistaken assumption that Kraken follows the same rules as everything else in the game. No, Kraken loves to hunt down the back row. Life casters, it's what Kraken does.
And Rojo,
that's what I'm talking about.
Rojo finding that Tiamat as nuke, as he downs one of his white mage.
Yep, but Rojo fires a nuke right back, and is going to get through to chaos. Does have a life spell to bring back that extra character. Looking pretty good for Rojo, so let's see if Rojo can get this finished and take the game back. Although look at this, Sawneyrath's coming right back into it over. So if Rojo has any problems here, the ball's going to be back in Sawneyrath's court.
All right. So chaos on the Rojo side.
Now the race is pretty close.
Yep.
Given everything that's happened, to have them both be in here in Topher at the same time, and Rojo's preparing here, putting the white mages in front. They're going to be soaking up hits while he tries to fast up his black belt. And moving the white shirt probably... actually, no, he left it on one of the white mages, so... that's okay. He's going to be doing enough damage that it's probably not going to matter. So, temper, lamp, attack, and fast. So, unfortunately, we didn't get to see the fast. The black belt lays down a good solid 400 damage, though. that should be good enough. I don't know why that white mage is casting Temper. Kept the spell when it switched from red to white, maybe? The white mage casts Temper again. Chaos decides to reward the white mage with death. And Rojo tries to get a wall up on that white mage. It's too slow. But the white mage is dropping invis shirts. That's what we really need to see. That's what's going to keep that black belt alive long enough to do what it needs to do. There's a zap, but the black belt survives, hits back with 512 damage. We've probably got about 1,000, 1,500 HP left on Chaos. Black belt lays down some damage. We've got 545, about 1,000 HP left. Chaos responds with a big nuke. We're in danger zone here as we're about 2 hits away. But a Cure 3 should definitely help out. Chaos tries to stay alive with a hit. There's 454, and Chaos is down. Rojo is our winner, taking the game at about 1 hour and 14 minutes. Get your GGs out in chat. This time for our winner, Rojo.
Phew, that was a scary one for Rojo.
Yeah, we're just inviting Rojo into the booth here, see if we can get some thoughts. Yeah, Sardia pointing out in chat, nice recovery after the first wipe. That's what you got to do. You got to stay in there and you got to keep plugging, and that's exactly what Rojo did. Sawneyrath is now forfeiting, but seems to be running it out. Again, good sportsmanship is definitely appreciated. And we're seeing some fast and tempers on that Gary, so it's going to go down pretty quickly. Right, so Sawney is going to finish it out, just for the sake of the race, and still waiting on a response from Rojo. Maybe that's Rojo now. Rojo, how you doing?
Still hands shaking a little bit there. That was an intense one.
Yeah, really close race, and talk about a tough bingo board. What were you thinking when you saw Sawneyrath lighting up all those tiles and you still had a few left to go? Did you know what your strategy was at that point?
Well, I knew that I wanted bottom left, the top right, and then of course the forced column 4 there. But yeah, I guess my plan was, I know the kind of player Sonny is. He's one of the best. So I figured, if I'm gonna take some risks, now's the time to do it, because otherwise I don't think I'm gonna beat him.
Yeah, well, you came close. I don't know if you've worked it out yet, but Sonny actually finished first, but it was invalidated because Sawneyrath didn't know. Very early on, Sawneyrath had equipped a Blessed Hammer and then just never used it, unequipped it, went on with his game. But that violates the use only cursed weapon tile. So
of course it does.
Sawneyrath had to go back in and find another way to do it, and most of his options are gone. He can't go back and melee the pirates. Can't go back and do garland boxing. So there's not a lot of options left once you start looking for them. But Sawneyrath's been a good sport about it, and it was really exciting to watch the two of you go. Which of the tiles would you say you were most worried about before you got started?
Just as far as like what Sonny gave me?
Yeah.
Probably the kill 2 different worms, because they can be a little shy at times, but I know where they are.
Yeah, you ended up not getting trolled by that, as we've seen some of the other racers at different times here. Wanted to say nice job on the strats, with starting with no red mages, switching to a red mage, and then switching back. Not a lot of runners are doing that, and it worked out well for you.
Yeah, as soon as I saw a nuke at level 2 there, and then I knew that the black belt was way back in Canaria, I was like, okay, well, that's the easiest decision of my life. So yeah, that worked out really well. I would have loved to have spent a little bit more time on those red agamas and Earth Cave, but I just didn't have the resources to do it at the time.
Yeah, fair enough. So we'll come back to this, but let's check in with Sawneyrath. Sawneyrath is going up against Chaos, did see a zap and lost a Light Warrior, but has gotten off fast in Temper, hitting hard for 2,000. Wow, Chaos has got to be close to death already. And Sawneyrath's in chat, anticipating the termination. Sawneyrath, how you doing? GG's.
Might help if I remember if I'm on push to talk. It was not good because I screwed myself. I shouldn't have screwed myself, and I should have actually won this. So I appreciate the GGs, but it was not a good game for me.
Hey, look, I completely understand how you feel. We all respect the good sportsmanship that you showed by, saying, hey, okay, if that's what happens, then I got to go back in there and find another way. And then to, finishing it on stream for the fans. That takes maturity, and we really appreciate that. So when I say GGs, it goes to more than just the game. It's also the player, and we really enjoyed watching you run.
I mean, I do appreciate that. Don't get me wrong. I really do. It's one of those things that the least I could do is just finish it out on stream, even though I did mess up.
Man, I'm sorry that happened. That's rough. That really sucks. In fact, that is kind of embarrassing for me, because like both of these losers brackets games I've won have been because of tile mishaps. So I feel a little bad about moving on and being where I am as it is.
I mean, honestly, after how my first match went, well, let's just say, even though it is a tournament, with how bad my first match was, and then my first race against Dark Moon, there's a lot of stuff that I feel like still needs to be refined and clarified more in the document on each of the tiles. So that's all I'm going to say on that matter.
Yeah, and that's a completely fair observation. There's already been some conversation, I know, about some of the different tiles, like the promote as soon as possible, that really can be difficult not only to understand, but in some cases, execute. But that's the growing pains that you get with this is the first time that the DAD tournament's been done. Let's talk about what went right, Sawneyrath. And just in terms of early progress in the seed, getting Nuke early on and getting the floater so quickly. Did you feel like you were ahead of Rojo by a solid margin?
Oh, yeah. With how early the floater was, I knew I was just flying through the seed. And when I had actually done the false finish at 105, I think it was, yeah, I knew I was way ahead. And just how quickly I was knocking out tiles was just ridiculous. I was thinking about going after that healing a status ailment tile beforehand, but because of how the cursed weaponry tile is, that caused a different flag to raise, which I could finish this faster technically. And yeah, that didn't really happen. But outside of that, like everything literally fell into place, minus the Red Wizards needing to hit level 28, 29 to get their level 8 charges. The Sage bonus is stupidly overpowered. If we didn't have that, I wouldn't have been able to finish. I would have had to reroll.
Yeah, and it's... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and if I had to reroll, it would have just forfeit.
Yeah, well, a funny quirk of the game, even though the Red Mage can't, in the regular game, can never cast any level 8 spells, they do get charges, which is why with the Sage Blessing, it can be done. And we were talking about this. I was thinking it would be level 25 because I was thinking about the Black Mage rules. But yeah, it would have had to have been higher up at level 28. You both leveled quite highly on that. And I think, Sawneyrath, did you took the zombie Ds and the wizard vamps instead of the Agma tiles?
Yes, I was getting more experience on average from the wizard vampire zombie D tile. I don't know if there was a multi-eye tile or anything like that, because I didn't check much of the other tiles after that until I needed to find a status ailment.
No, I think the best we saw was the 1 to 3 Agmas. Okay, Jen, again, I've been dominating the microphone here. Do you have any questions for these gentlemen?
Yeah, Rojo. How do you feel when you found the floater at almost 30 minutes? I think was 30 minutes. So did you feel behind or?
Um, well, I mean, a little bit maybe, but it was sailing past Elfland in the outer sea dock was always part of the plan because I figured, what are the odds? I got two checks with the Ruby. I should go there first, and then I'll swing around and go to Crescent Lake. I guess the slightly longer way through Elfland. Um, but I mean, I figured, it's possible maybe Sonny made the same decision, maybe not. Maybe he just went straight to Elfland. That's an obvious play as well. But yeah, I didn't feel too bad about it because I wasn't sailing all over the world or anything. I think it's just like I had some really big difficulties with the Gerwolves wiping me like over and over and over, just trying to get through Titan's Tunnel. And that was kind of like the story of my seed is like I got killed twice trying to get that successfully cure a status ailment tile, which is just like a bonus tile just in case something else didn't work out. So I didn't even need to do that. And then of course I found both the duds, like went into ordeals and chased down went into Ice Cave. Those are huge wastes of time. Um, so yeah, I think I could have made this, a lot closer race if I hadn't made those questionable decisions. I mean, Ice Cave maybe not so questionable, but Ordeals probably was at the time. I waited forever to go chase down the slab and all that as well. So
Yeah, it's just 1 hour and 15 minutes. Still a good time. Still really fast.
thanks.
And yeah, that was a great match. Too bad. Sorry, Sawneyrath, for the curse weapon tile, but yeah, that was still close. Still a close match. Both of you guys were in Temple of Fiend almost at the same time, and unfortunately, Rojo took a wipe to Kraken too.
Yep.
On your first dive. Kraken was a little bit nasty on this one.
Yeah, for sure. I think I also wasn't giving him quite enough respect because I think I had my black belt in the second slot and I didn't bother healing all the way either. So I think that kind of bit me a little bit.
So yeah, that's about everything I had.
Okay, then, Shanigan, I guess what we'll do is we'll just give each of the runners a chance for their final thoughts, and then we'll do the wrap up. So we'll go to you first, Sawneyrath. Any final thoughts before we leave?
I mean, hang on a moment, because I'm also typing while actually trying to talk. Ultimately, this was a really, really good seed. It was super fast, no matter which set of rows you get. And bingo in and of itself is fun. Definitely not something that's my jam personally, but it's not something I'm going to say, don't give this a try. Because there are some boards that, even if you have very, very difficult settings or very, very difficult tiles that you have to adhere to very specific rules of, you can get them done. I mean, in this case, I had to redo Temple of Fiends. I had to find some sort of status ailment so that way I could use Cure 4, Pure, any of the healing spells on it, status healing spells specifically, and still was able to do that and finish this in under an hour 20 with ease. I know a lot of other people may not be able to do that, especially if you're newer to the community or just don't have everything quite learned to where you can just put the gas on the pedal at all times. But definitely give it a shot. Bingo is fun. It's just, you may find out it's for you. You may find out it's not for you. You'll never know until you try it. And it's something I highly recommend giving a try.
Great. Well said. And I'm looking forward to giving it a shot myself one of these days. So, Rojo, any final thoughts from you?
Um, Yeah, I mean, I was pretty excited when I thought I actually won, like the regular way. But still, yeah, I mean, good match. I'm not surprised that he had a great time. I was I was a little surprised that I didn't see the dot done once he like just blew through a whole bunch of tiles in quick succession. Um, but yeah, I mean, I agree with Sonny. Like bingo it's a ton of fun. It's my first exposure to it, and I've probably played like 20 seeds just on my own. I guess you could call it practice because I've been timing them, but there's no rule that says you actually have to race the randomizer. Like you can just play it for fun if you want to. So yeah, I recommend definitely checking it out. This is a pretty easy flag set to get into, I would say. Like there's no ridiculous scaling or anything, so you're usually not going to find something that just dumpsters your party over and over. So yeah, I would say definitely give this a try. It's a fun different way to play the game.
Okay, well said as well, Rojo. And with that, Rojo Vision is our winner for today, and we'll go on to the next round of the losers bracket. Rojo's next opponent will be J-Man, and I don't believe we have a date for that yet, because we just found out who the winner was. So keep your eyes peeled to this channel, Randomania, and also to RPG Limit Break and Speed Gaming, where we've got these double anti-bingo matches going up almost 1 to 2 a day, it seems. And we're getting towards the final rounds as the main bracket is in round 4 is complete, and we're all the way into the semifinals in the main bracket. So still some matches to be played, but it's starting to get really interesting. If you want to try out the Final Fantasy Randomizer for yourself, you're welcome at any time to come join us. We've got a Discord up and a website at finalfantasyrandomizer.com. So that's going to do it for us. We're going to just go ahead and do a couple of final thank yous before we sign off. First of all, thank you to Randomania. We couldn't do the show without the stage, and we appreciate you lending us yours. I want to give a big shout out to my co-commentator and first-time commentator, Chanigan, joining me in the booth for today. We also have a first-time restreamer as well, Sunflash Rune, doing a fantastic job dealing with some technical difficulties and keeping everything on screen. We have the very diligent Reese Wolf on tracking, one of the better trackers we have, to be sure, and manages to keep up with the entertaining commentary and chat as well. And we also have a YouTube channel. If you like watching these, you can see them after we go on live here on Twitch, but you can also bump over to YouTube and see them there as well if you like VODs. We've got going back several years now of spring tournaments and different tournaments there. That's how I got into this randomizer, was watching the VODs on YouTube first. And it's why I joined Twitch, or just to come and be a part of this community. So yeah, I'm not sure if we have anything scheduled yet, but do keep your eyes peeled on those channels. That's going to be it for us. So thank you everybody much for joining us tonight. Hope you had fun. I've been Rock Solid 84. So until next time, keep your head up, folks, and don't forget to go fast.